Welcome gamers! Today we're going to take a look at Night Slashers. This is a horror-themed classic arcade beat-em-up developed and published to arcades by Data East back in 1993. And so for starters, the game's story centers upon a world overrun by the living dead, in which three courageous characters must fight to take down the evil King Zaruts, a mech skeleton warrior who plans to wipe out all of humanity and turn the world into a kingdom for the undead. So, players took on the role of 1 to 3 playable characters in the game, named Jake White, Christopher Smith, and Zhao Hong Hua, each with their own unique fighting maneuvers and power-up special attacks. While characters boasted running abilities and combo fighting maneuvers, the gameplay was hampered by sporadic controls that often felt unresponsive. That being said, to be honest, it's been about close to 3 decades since I first played this game in the arcades, and to be honest, my thoughts and feelings surrounding this game pretty much remain the same. There's excellent graphics, the theme was amazing, and it had a phenomenal soundtrack, but the game was really badly hampered by the sporadic controls. The controls were just not that good, and to be honest, this game ran horribly in the arcade. I'm actually playing this in MAME, and the controls are actually a lot more responsive in here than they were in the original arcade version, and that's something I'll touch more on shortly. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at the gameplay. So the gameplay was very similar to other classic arcade beat-em-ups of the same era, including Final Fight and SNK's classic Sengoku series. Some of the fighting maneuvers appear to be more like wrestling moves, with an assortment of body slam abilities that were strikingly similar to those in Capcom's Final Fight series. Bosses. Well, bosses included an assortment of horror-themed characters, including a Count Dracula, a Frankenstein character, a rock monster, Grim Reaper, there's even a mad scientist, Indian tribesman, and an Egyptian pharaoh skeleton, among others. So, players fight the Dracula character actually multiple times throughout the course of the game, and the game actually makes several references to Dracula's castle and his portal to the Kingdom of Darkness. And so the game was notable for its rich sprites and presentation of cartoon-like zombies, who upon being defeated typically disintegrate into a pile of bones on the ground. And the graphics are really amazing. I do like the presentation of the zombies in this game, and pretty much all the characters, to be honest. The zombies, it's like their flesh just starts to melt and they just disintegrate into bones, and then it's just ash. And developers put a lot of attention to detail in this game. I mean, they did not half-ass this. All of the scenes, all of the stage scenes throughout the game are incredibly detailed. There's one scene where you're standing in front of an Aztec pyramid and you can see the sunset in the background. It's just incredible. And so the game featured a very phenomenal soundtrack. It was created by composer Tomoyoshi Sato, and I was really blown away by the music in this game. I thought it was really incredible. It very much fits the theme. And so let's go back to the enemies. Let's take a look at those again. Some of the common characters, we talked about the bosses, some of the common characters in the games are mostly zombies, but in some scenes there's actually werewolves. There are some axe-wielding warriors, some have masks, some don't. There is these firemen. You can see this guy that's like in flames. That looks like something that, what was that character's name in Darkstalkers? Pyron. It kind of reminds me of Pyron from Darkstalkers. And so there's a various assortment of zombies throughout the game. Here's some of those werewolves that I was talking about. Now, the game also boasted several bonus rounds, which I thought was kind of cool. There were nothing to write home about, but they were pretty interesting. There was one where zombies are lined up like bowling pins, and players were tasked with mashing input buttons as fast as possible to raise a meter. And so the higher players got their meters, the more zombies they would knock down, and the higher their score. And you're going to see that in just a minute here. And now another bonus round features zombies' heads popping out of the ground, kind of like a whack-a-mole type deal, in which players must destroy them before they disappear back into the ground beneath them. So I thought those were kind of interesting. They're nothing fancy, but just something extra that Data East included. They threw into the game. I had a lot of fun playing this. You know, like I said, it's been almost 30 years since I last played this game, and I do remember when this came out in the arcades. There were several different versions of this game depending on the region. There was a couple different Asian versions. I believe there was one for the European market and one for the North American market. I went ahead and went with the Korean version to complete this video because it emulated the best, it ran the best in MAME. So this is the one that I stuck with. You can see the blood is actually green in this one versus red with the standard North American version. I thought the graphics were a little bit better in here. Like most beat 'em ups, you pick up food to replenish your health. There's like hot dogs and hamburgers and all kinds of stuff. You do have special power-up attacks in this game, which I thought was pretty cool. Each character has 2 or 3 different attacks that they can perform. The controls were just where that's kind of where the game fails. In fact, this game really felt unplayable. The original arcade version, at least the North American version, it was like the joysticks were really unresponsive. We kind of walked away frowning after playing this. I'm trying to remember how old I was. I think I was probably 13 years old when this game came out. We really liked the theme of it, but myself, my friends, and those of us who played this game just kind of frowned upon the controls. The boss characters in this game were really cool though. Like you got this rock man here. I kind of mentioned him earlier, and then you got the Dracula character. You actually battle him several times throughout the game. The graphics were really cool for the time. This game felt like it had a lot more substance than the classic Final Fight series. I felt like Final Fight was super repetitive, and that's one thing that I can give to developers in this game. I give them props for, is that this game was not repetitive. Every single stage of this game is a totally different theme. You have new characters that come out through the course of the game. It just constantly changes, and that was something I really liked, because most of the classic beat 'em ups, if you look back at the beat 'em ups from the mid to late 1980s and the early 1980s, they were super repetitive, and the controls were actually, most of those games, if you look back at the original Final Fight game or the original, or SNK's original Sengoku beat 'em up title, the controls were horrible. They were horrible. They would, Final Fight did not age well. It felt so incredibly laggy. I go back and play Final Fight now, and I'm just bored to tears. And it's like the same thing over and over again. So that's one thing I can give the developers props for with this game, that they did an awesome job on. Look at the sprites in this game. Look at the graphics. Another thing to note about this game is that you had a pretty effective running dash attack. You had combo fighting maneuvers that you could pull off. You can also pick up some weapons. You can see I just picked up a knife there and threw it. So I thought that was pretty cool. Here's one of those axe-wielding warriors I was telling you about. This one's wearing a mask. They take a number of hits to take out, usually a couple more than the standard zombies, because some of the zombies actually have no arms, and they vomit on you, and I thought that was pretty cool. So the game was a lot of fun, but my thoughts really haven't changed on it much. 3 decades later, I still think the game is great. I still think it's fun to play. I think the controls could have been better, but this was a more, you know, primitive time of arcade, you know, during the days of arcade development, of game development. And things weren't perfect back then, but it's just the bright, vivid sprites, colors, the fast action gameplay in here really made this a title to remember, you know, and to come back almost 30 years later and play this game again, you know, it was like, wow, you know, I can't remember how much fun, you know, just remember how much fun this was in the arcades. But like I said, the original arcade version was super laggy. It was just, you know, I couldn't get the controls to work. Now the special power-up attacks here, you know, like they do a pretty decent amount of damage. There's something you definitely want to save up and use on the boss characters. This was a quarter eater. This did eat up your money. That was, you know, technically the purpose of these games. But it didn't feel like it was super difficult. Like I said, playing it MAME, it was a lot more responsive than the arcade version. So it wasn't like I had to continue as much as you would have had to continue with the arcade game. The game, something else to note about this game, the end of the game actually makes references to a sequel. And it actually, you know, it talks about the three characters have defeated the evil dark forces. They, you know, and, you know, they go on about their lives. But then it makes a reference to the return of Dracula, like he's back. As if Data East had been hinting towards, you know, an upcoming sequel. They were actually planning to make a sequel to the game. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But overall, besides the gameplay, it was just the music in this game that really drew me in. It was something, it was that retro synth that, you know, it brings back a lot of fond memories of that era, of things like the classic Nintendo and Sega Genesis games, not just the arcade titles. Data East is pretty well defunct at this point. You know, they don't really exist anymore, but a lot of phenomenal games they made, you know. This is definitely a far cry from, say, Burger Time, but if you're into beat-em-ups, this is definitely one I recommend. Unfortunately, this game does not run in every version of, it does not run in every version of MAME, but it runs in some of the older versions. I really do like that Pyron-looking character. There he is. You got these floating picture frames and stuff. You can also break some objects. There are barrels. You can throw these briefcases. They will release power-ups and elements like the gold bars you can pick up to increase your score. So it's just a lot of fun. So anyways, I'm probably just going to go ahead and end the commentary here. That is Night Slashers. I'm gonna play through the entire game all the way through the end to the final scene, and if you like this video, definitely be sure to give a thumbs up, maybe subscribe, stay up to date with our latest videos. If you like classic arcade games, be sure to check out our humongous classic arcade games playlist from the front of our channel. There will also be links here in the video that you can click from the end screens and cards. And I'm going to go ahead and continue to play. We're going to play out through the rest of the game. I recorded this, by the way, I recorded this with OBS, 60 frames per second to get a good quality recording, and it actually looks really good. Actually, here we're getting ready to fight that Dracula character that I was talking about. It's going to come up here. We're actually at Dracula's castle now. So anyways, that is Night Slashers. You know, give your input. I'm interested to hear who else remembers this game. Give your input in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Sorry about the dog barking in the background. Let me know what you thought about this game. I really liked it. Like I said, the controls were a bit laggy, but otherwise, overall, I would give this game like an 8 out of 10 if I were to score this, you know, upon review. So anyways, many thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.
think you can beat me? I'm into the abyss! What happened? What happened?
me off guard! Delicious! What? You caught me off guard! You caught me off guard! Those are your final words!
Your life is mine.
You caught me off guard! You caught me off guard! We've destroyed them all! You caught me off guard! You caught me off guard! You caught me off guard! Excellent fighting!